Support from Piping Productions and Blue Eye Media.
It seems every day the line is being pushed further, and we now have reports of ICE detaining U.S. citizens for hours as they attempt to re-enter the United States. We were told it would just be the criminal illegals, that any U.S. citizen had nothing to worry about, that this was about safety and not about profiling. But this week, a U.S. citizen was detained by Customs and Border Protection after coming back from a weekend trip in Canada, a trip I've done many times as a naturalized American citizen. The individual to whom this happened is essentially no different than me. This is Bakir Attallah, real estate attorney from New Hampshire, has lived in the United States for nearly 4 decades, has been a naturalized American citizen for over 10 years. And after crossing the Vermont border with his wife, maybe at the exact same crossing that I've done 30 or so times when coming back from Montreal, he was pulled aside by CBP agents, told to get out of the car. And when he hesitated for clarification, an agent reached for his gun. Attallah complied, but was handcuffed, wrist twisted, dragged away while his wife watched from the car. He asked, "Why am I being detained?" The response is, "We don't know. It's the government." Agents demanded access to his phone and to his email. He invoked attorney-client privilege as a practicing lawyer. They pressured him into signing a statement, allowing them to search through it anyway. Under duress, he gave in. And 5 hours later, he and his wife were released. No charges were filed. No explanation was given, just disbelief and the trauma of such an event. Now, this is not an isolated incident. Last month, we learned about ICE detaining Genzi Machado, another naturalized U.S. citizen, and by the way, one that actually supports, or at least did support, Donald Trump. We learned of a student with a green card tackled in front of his pregnant wife. And now, a decade-long citizen coming back from Canada, detained and interrogated for hours. So we're in a new phase. The line keeps pushing forward. Only criminal illegals. Well, maybe it's anybody who's undocumented. Well, maybe it's people here with visas. Maybe it's permanent residents. Maybe it's a naturalized American citizen, just like me. So we're now in a phase where apparently not even citizenship protects you. First, it was undocumented immigrants and green card holders, and then now we are pushing the line further and further. And of course, everybody's insisting that all of this stuff is being done by the book. Now, here is what Bakir Attallah's sister, who's an immigration attorney, said. It is not about immigrants. It's coming to us Americans, and it's going to go after all of us. This is what the Trump deportation machine looks like, even if not everybody being encountered is even subject to deportation legally. When a citizen with a U.S. passport, no criminal record, legal credentials can be treated like this at the border, we are beyond the "is this going too far" phase. It's happening right now. And so for everybody, I was on with with Don Lemon yesterday alongside Brian Tyler Cohen and Cenk Uygur, and our consensus was this has already gone far enough where now is the red alert. Now is the 5-alarm fire. Serious legal questions, of course, about what happened to Attallah. Customs and Border Protection, of course, does have broader authority at border crossings. That's what they do. It includes the ability to do a secondary screening. There are constitutional limits, especially when it comes to American citizens. We sort of encountered this to a degree during the COVID era. Because remember, in the COVID era, with all of the travel restrictions as applied to citizens coming back to the United States, at the end of the day, what was determined was that the United States cannot block a citizen from coming home. And so all of the testing guidelines and all of the different stuff that the right-wingers were furious about, the right-wingers ultimately came down on the side of, you really can't keep an American citizen out of the United States. You can't reject their reentry to the United States. If they show up and they haven't done the COVID test, you've got to let them back in. That's how it applied then. But now a different standard being applied. Well, I don't know. Maybe the 5 hours of questioning is okay. Maybe the allowing a search of the phone under duress is okay. So this should be setting alarm bells off in every courtroom in the country. At minimum, we have a violation of attorney-client confidentiality. At worst, it's a case study in rights being trampled in real time. Now, later, CBP has really kind of focused in on this. Atala consented to the search of his phone. We've talked about this before. Consent given under duress after being handcuffed and threatened. I don't know that that's really consent in any meaningful legal sense. And courts have long recognized that these coercive environments can invalidate consent in exactly this sort of situation. But it keeps happening. Very little oversight, almost no consequences. Finally, we have to talk about the biggest chilling effect that can't be ignored. When the line moves to naturalized citizens, searched, detained, humiliated, intimidated at the border, the message is that your status doesn't protect you. I have the same status as Atala. And then, of course, the next phase is, damn, maybe Trump is serious about sending American citizens, naturalized or natural born, to other countries. And the implications go well beyond immigration enforcement. This discourages legal residents and new citizens from exercising their rights. It sows fear. It tells people don't ask questions, don't speak up, don't push back. So that is where we are now. American citizen, detained for hours and humiliated.